you have a client, and what are some things that are going to make his life easier, or how is he going to be able to help out his attorney or help out his case as it moves through the system? What are some bad things you see guys do that you would like to fix?
Why don't you take that? Well, one thing I see happen from time to time is guys that resort to what I like to call self-help. Self-help, yeah. Which is almost never a good idea. Examples was like, okay, she's not, this one's I run into, at least I'll have guys ask me about this a lot. She's not letting him see the child pursuant to a schedule, and maybe he's not seeing the child at all. And so he asked me, well, can I withhold child support? Or can I go just pick the kid up from school and take them home? And first of all, if there's a court order in place and you defy it, you're going to face immediate consequences for that. And the judges will come down real hard on you for that. And fortunately, it's many times they'll come down harder on men for the same behavior that they're not coming down hard on women for. But even if there's no court order in place, if you do something like say that you just filed your divorce, you don't have a temporary order, there's no formal custody order in place, and you decide to show up at your child's school, pick them up from school, and take them home with you instead of what's normally going on, even if the judge can't hit you with a contempt citation or something, what can happen is she's going to go into court and present that in the worst possible light, and you're going to be stuck having to defend that action. And judges don't like self-help. They will pretty much always take the attitude of, you have the option to avail yourself of the court, please do so. So that's one that I see more than I'd like to, with people that they get mad and they decide, I'm going to resort to self-help because the court's moving too slowly or they're not doing what I want. Another thing that I think is on the positive side that men can do and should do, we talked before about text messaging. I always encourage my clients, if they have to deal with an ex, even if it's friendly, always make a record. Either do it by text, do it by email, telephone, verbal telephone calls are okay. Oklahoma's a one-party consent state, so you can record the conversation whether she agrees to it or not, and you should, because that's one of the best protection you have of a couple of things. It makes it harder for her to make up things about what you might have said to her. But even on the less serious side, if you want to get joint custody, one of the things that's useful to show a judge is that you and she can work together as a business unit. And if you have a long history of text messages of, reasonably cordial professional conversation that you can show the judge, that goes a long way to establishing to that judge that you are in fact capable of working together. And at least in Tulsa County, most of the judges want both parents in the picture, provided the parents want to be in the picture. I had a custody case recently that was one of the main things that turned the judge's opinion, was that I had something like 700 pages of text messages of the two parties communicating as cordial adults, even though they hated each other.
Mm-hmm.
I want to add 2 points, if you don't mind, Mark.
Go for it.
One, overnight visitation is extremely important, especially if you're trying to reduce child support. You get 121 overnights here in Oklahoma. You're in the money. You're getting a child care credit. You're up to 132. It's even better. 143 and above, you're at the top of the game. The other thing here is, in the worst cases here, where we're talking about either a default decree for some kind of a divorce, or you don't even have rights because they haven't been established in the district court, okay? What they'll argue is a substantial erosion of relationship. And women, it's psychologically proven. There are studies out there that suggest that women will replace fathers. They will nest with some other dude and try to replace you as a dad, okay? I hate to see these AWOC cases. When I say AWOC, I mean adoption without consent of the father, where they're trying to replace you and terminate your rights. And what Brian's talking about here is creating evidence that suggests that there's not a substantial erosion of relationship. Put yourself in a position nowadays, kids have phones, kids have social media, kids are on the internet, etc. Get yourself in a position where you're communicating with your kid, where it's in writing, it's proven, and they can't come back and say you don't have a relationship with your kid. The worst case scenario is a judge doesn't even want to hear the kid because it's in their interest not to bring him into court, not to hear what the kid, the relationship you've had. And you've got to prove that you've got a relationship with this kid, and mom's completely denying it, and you don't have any kind of physical evidence proving that you do have a relationship with your kid. So, 1, it's communication with mom. 2, it's communication with your kid in a way that is tangible and physically provable in a court of law.